Hello and welcome to The View. It's good to see you. You look really good looking in that color.
You look pretty hot yourself, Kim.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'll look at... Are your breasts okay?
I'm just finishing my dressing.
Okay, because I saw one move and I wasn't sure. The movie Bruno is #1 at the box office right now and was causing some controversy even before it opened. And Barbara and Joy just saw it. So, did you guys love it? Did you... What? Tell me.
Go ahead, Barbara.
No, you go.
All right. Well, I saw it yesterday at the 68th and Broadway here with regular, people, not a screening. And it was about less more than third filled. That's all, because it was in the afternoon. And Steve and I were the only ones really laughing, I have to say, because, I don't know, people were sort of like shocked or something by it. And I was howling.
Was it funny?
It's so audacious and so funny. And it's uneven. It's not funny constantly. Right. But when it is funny, it's a killer funny. Right. And it's quite vile. I mean, you can't imagine what he does and what he shows. It's really...
That's why you like it. So was that funny?
Look, I'm not shocked by any of that. Soap operas have sex in it. That annoys me more.
You have more of a European kind of like...
Yeah, go ahead.
I also saw it with an audience, and by the way, it's Sacha Baron Cohen who did Borat, which I thought was very funny.
Right.
I have a couple of problems with this. There were times when I did laugh. Right. I mean, there are times when he's hilarious. There were 12-year-olds here. This is a movie that is listed as R, which means that you can come up with a parent. If you are a parent, do not bring your child to this movie. There are close-ups, which Joy did not mention, of penises and pubic hair, as close as this, with it wagging like this. All right, now this is going to make you all want to go to see this movie, and that's why I'm sorry to go through this.
Tell us more, Barbara.
I'm about to.
This is insightful, though, because...
I'm about to.
Joy
I'm about to.
This is why Joy loved it.
Bruno is supposedly an Austrian homosexual. This is a movie that purports to make people who are homophobic no more. I think this will make people, if you're not homophobic, it could make you. I don't need to know how you are doing anal intercourse.
Oh, wow.
You all want to go see this movie now, right?
Wow.
I also mind the fact that, again, like Borat, it takes unsuspecting people, the little people, and makes fun of them. Now, the only thing I couldn't figure out is these people know that there are cameras. They have to sign releases. If I interview someone, I've got to sign a release. Right. So it seems to me the only way they could do this is to sign the release in advance, and then you can't change it.
Do they pay these people?
I think what they say is he pretends to be, in this case, he would be an Austrian interviewer. Right. He interviews Ron Paul, for example, who had the good sense to walk out.
Right, but Ron Paul's, that whole scene is pretty funny. I just think it was funny.
There are things that there are other people who are not as sophisticated as Ron Paul, whom he makes fun of. Right. Look, are there some laughs? Yes. These are things that I don't like making fun of little people. I don't like seeing close-ups of anal sex. I don't like seeing close-ups of Sacha Baron Cohen's...
swingers, too.
Did you stay for the whole thing?
Oh, yes, I did stay for the whole thing. No, I don't walk out of things. Yes, I did, because I didn't know what the movie was.
Well, you gave it the benefit of the doubt. But did people walk out? Did you see anybody walk out?
No one walked out.
My point is, you want to go to see this movie, it's not as funny as Borat. It hasn't gotten the same reviews. What I'm saying is, this is a movie that is almost as pornographic as any pornographic thing that I've seen. That's in your neighborhood movie theater. Go see it. Have a good time. Part of it's boring. Sometimes it's very funny. But for heaven's sakes, don't take your children.
I'm surprised.
And the idea of making fun of the little people, because that's what we're laughing at.
Which one where did you see that part? What was the little people part? I don't remember.
Well, when I say little people, I mean people who are unsuspecting. The two ministers, I mean, it made them look ridiculous. They may be, but it did. Also, the kind of guys at the campers at night whom he must say to them, I am a journalist. He's got the Austrian accent, and they agree.
And they believe it, though. That's what's really bizarre.
They're actually giving a watered-down version in Europe, aren't they, so that teens could maybe see. I don't know how much you can water down.
Do not take it. This is not a family movie. Other than that, you don't mind this? You want to go and you have some laughs? Okay with me.
Issue.
Okay with me.
A 12-foot penis on a screen is not my idea of a good time.
Okay. That's what I'm saying.
In the house, yes, but not on the screen. And even then. And you know what?
And the machine that shows you, I'm not going to be graphic, a machine that shows you how to have oral sex.
You know what surprises me is that funny, but the parts that were funny are worth seeing.
There are some parts that are funny.
There are some parts that you really want to laugh.
Because parents know. I would think that parents know what Borat or what Sacha Baron Cohen does. So it kind of surprises me that parents would bring their kids to see that kind of movie, because I thought that everybody...
know that it's as graphic.
But I don't think it's
But isn't the rating system help? Like the R?
I just want to address one thing about the homophobia. I don't think that people are going to become anti-gay from the movie, because he is such a stereotype and so out there as this gay queen wacky that there are straight people who are just as crazy. So if you don't know the difference, there's something wrong with you.
Well, let's see. Well, let's take this to the next level, because it only gets more interesting. In an attempt to combat the highest teen pregnancy rate in Western Europe, the UK government is encouraging teens to masturbate, saying they have a right to an orgasm a day. They can have one a day, according to the UK.
It's like a vitamin.
It's part of a healthy lifestyle. Now, I myself agree with such a thing, you know. But how do you guys feel?
By the way, having just sounded like the prude of the world, and as I said, I'm not there. I just want to say there are funny things.
You just don't want the kids to go.
No, okay.
Right.
I agree. I think that especially a young boy has very strong sexual impulses, and what they're trying to do is to say, do this to yourself and don't feel you got to go out and get some girl. I mean, that's what they're trying to do.
They are saying to young girls, and here's how you can do this as well.
I remember being
it's not a conversation that we've had.
But isn't this like telling Donald Trump to make money? I mean, it's like, duh. They're encouraging, they're reminding people to do something that...
I went to an all-girls Catholic school, and we didn't really touch on, like, sex education fully, but I remember there was someone who came in one time for a seminar and mentioned the word masturbation, and then she was never to be seen again. But there was, she disappeared. They sent her away. But I think that it's also important, I don't know, they have the highest teen pregnancy rate in Europe, right? So I think it's important to also not just tackle it from one angle, but also still encourage them to develop relationships and understand which context in which sex occurs is the most healthy. You know, being one that you're in a committed relationship, ideally married.
But I think that would be sex education.
The other side too. I think
sex education. Then it sounds like.
I believe that it should be taught within a context, and also not just dropping the ball on teaching them relationships and commitment, and not only the physical needs, but also the emotional needs. I think that especially with females, the emotional. What happens to a girl emotionally when she gets involved sexually is just as important as physically.
You had a situation yourself.
Well, it's so funny because they're teaching the kids that they should do it. And I remember being in church, and there was a sermon about it it was in our singles group, being celibate about...
But this is now. This is...
Yeah, about, masturbation and the fact that you shouldn't do it.
Really?
Yeah, because...
Sorry, what are we talking about? You had this discussion last week.
Yeah, this was like very recently in church, and the fact that you shouldn't do it because of the images and the fantasies you have to create in your mind are sinful. So so you shouldn't do it.
If you're looking at a magazine, then you have to create it.
But no, you still have the visions in your head.
I don't have to think of anything but myself. And after the show, I'll tell you what my technique is. Absolutely, I love myself. Listen, I believe that sexuality is something that should be shared between a man and a woman, or two men, or whoever. But it's a shared environment. As I am servicing and making you feel fantastic, you need to be doing the same thing to me. And I feel... if I don't want to go out and find somebody, that I will do it myself just because I love myself.
And also,
well, but I think...
But if you're true, when you discussed wanting to masturbate because you're trying to be celibate, they disapproved.
Well, you're right, because, everybody felt like you can't pleasure yourself without creating stuff in your head.
Let me tell you something. You can, if you're doing it right, you can be mentally cleaning the refrigerator and it'll still work.
I don't think she's talking about technique. I think she's talking about the meaning behind it in terms of,
Okay, folks, I'd like to just say one thing before you go. At least we're not talking about Michael Jackson or Sarah Palin. What are the shows doing?
We'll be back with more Hot Topics.